I'm Jordan.
I'm Erin.
And welcome back to the Greater Twin Podcast.
Hello, it's been another week.
It's been
We're back.
another whole week of our lives that have turned.
I once again have no memory of this week.
Really?
One day I'll get on this podcast and I'll remember something.
I have memories.
Okay, what are your memories?
Okay, actually, I don't have memories before Tuesday at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So, my birthday was on Wednesday.
Yes.
So,
happy belated birthday.
Thank you. So, we did birthday dinner, and then I got to go shopping. I bought new yarn.
I saw. There's
yarn everywhere in my house right
over
now.
there's a giant skein of... How do you pronounce skein?
Skein?
Okay. I've heard some people pronounce it skein, and that sounds like
skein?
I've heard lots of people. Well, this is all just like on like Instagram reels and stuff like that. But it sounds like a slur in a foreign language.
Isn't it spelled with an E?
It's Skein.
How would you get skein?
I don't know, but it sounds bad.
It sounds like a bad word, yeah.
Yeah. There's a giant skein of yarn over there that's this big, and I'm jealous, and I want it because it looks fabulous.
It is fabulous. I've used one and made it pretty small now. But
whoa,
I've been working.
That's impressive.
I've been cranking out those flower granny squares.
I want to crochet. I'm just in the mood to be a crochet sweatshop right now.
Let's do it together.
We should.
Finish school first.
I know.
We were just talking, when you finish school, you're going to be a whole new person.
When school ends, I was telling my roommate this the other day, but when school ends and summer begins, I'm going to hatch out of my cocoon like a butterfly.
You are. I believe it. I can feel it coming.
And I'm literally going to be a completely different person.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to sleep.
This podcast is about to, go off.
Yes. I'm going to be able to think real thoughts, and I'm going to be able to sleep at normal times and do all sorts of fun things like that.
That'll be so good.
And crochet. And maybe have a brain not made out of sludge.
Hopefully one day.
Yes. Because here's the thing. During the school year, it's like everything is like in the moment immediately.
Yeah.
Like this podcast does not exist in my brain until my butt is in this chair.
Yeah.
And that is exclusively it.
Yeah. I can see that. Like when you just have so much, you can't think about what's to come. You just have to think about what's happening right now.
Yes. It is like, how are we going to get from this second to the next second?
That's so sad. I feel like you're just like on survival mode.
Yes. Nothing is in my brain. And if I stop sprinting, I'll fall over, and that'll just be it.
Well, don't stop sprinting.
Womp womp.
Maybe you should just fall over. It might be good for you.
Girl, we don't want to play that game. We don't want to play that game. I got finals.
Oh yeah, it's not time to fall over.
Simply, nuh-uh.
No. Yeah, but I bought new yarn, and then I went home.
Yeah.
To celebrate.
Yeah.
Went and saw a play.
A play?
I went and saw Fiddler on the Roof. I'd never seen it before. And I'm like a musical junkie. Like I like to go to theater. I love going to theaters and like doing that. And I'd never seen Fiddler on the Roof, and it was so good.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you should watch the movie, because I've heard the movie's really good, and I do plan to watch the movie tomorrow.
Movie recommendation, having not seen it ever.
But I have seen the play.
Yes.
So I feel like it counts.
Would love to go to a little play. Like, I bet there's places in Bryan that have...
I've tried to look
plays
it
and
up,
such.
and I haven't really been successful. Like, I know A&M does stuff, but they don't advertise it very well, so I never know when A&M's is happening.
Yeah.
But we should look into it and see what's happening.
I'm down.
Because
I'm always down for a little community event, you know?
Yeah,
I'm just really down for an event.
Yeah.
I love events.
I love having things on my schedule.
Yes.
Maybe once summer starts, we can put more on your schedule.
Yes. I'm a Google Calendar girly. We've been over this.
Oh, I'm not. I need a physical calendar.
That's my mama's.
If I put it on a Google Calendar, it does not exist.
It doesn't exist unless it's on my Google Calendar.
Really?
Is
everything color coded?
Oh, yes.
Is that even a question?
Please. It's color coded, and I did learn like a year or so ago that you can like custom color code it, and so always during the first week of the semester, it's like the first week of the semester, and you have nothing to do because you don't have like assignments or anything, and so like in between classes when I'm just sitting there, I'll spend like in the most ridiculous amount of time in the world creating a new color palette for my Google Calendar.
But that's so good for you. Like, that's just something that
Yes.
probably mentally can keep you going the rest of the school year.
Yes, and like just recently I've been looking at my calendar and there's no white space on that thing.
Yeah.
Every second of the day is on there. And I've been like, I'm bored with these colors.
Well, you're about to change.
I need something new.
Do you change it for the summer, or do you not really use it in the summer?
I don't use it as much during the summer. Like because in the summer it's not like little things.
Right.
It's just like I go to work.
You go to work and then you like hang out, whatever.
Yeah. And like that sort of stuff, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I don't really.
It's not calendar worthy.
It's not calendar worthy. Please. But I'll put like a vacation on there or something.
Right.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
In the summer.
Mitchell's kind of crazy, and at the beginning of every semester when he starts his new classes, or maybe it's school year. No, it's got to be semester. Every time he starts new classes or whatever. Whatever you do. Whenever he gets new classes, he will get a Google spreadsheet and go through his every class and put every assignment, every quiz, every exam, all and color code it all on one Google spreadsheet. And as he does them throughout the school year, he'll check them off. So like right now, he was telling me today, he's like, "Oh, I know I have no more assignments. I just have exams for the rest of the school year." Because he's seen on his thing, he checked them all off.
So wait, does he do it for like grades or just to like check them off?
Everything.
Oh, so like it like calculates grades in there. So.
I don't know if it calculates his grade.
Because I've made stuff like that for grades because sometimes teachers will set it up to where the Canvas will do it right, but sometimes it does it wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it calculates his grade in there. I just know he does it to keep track of his assignments.
Okay.
And it's like color coded in like notes of when it's due and all of that, and he'll like reference that more than like his Canva and stuff.
Yeah. I kind of do that similar with my Google Calendar, but here's the thing. Here's what is most impressive about that is that the professors have an accurate syllabus.
Right?
With assignments, because my professors just pull stuff out of their butt. Like, I've had professors, like, not last, like the semester before last, I had this professor who was like, it takes exactly 2 glasses of scotch for me to write an exam.
Oh my god!
Like, and he always writes his exams the night before.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like,
how's that allowed?
Yeah. And then he takes 1,000,000 years to grade it. And I'm like,
he's gotta get that scotch.
And I'm like, grade my test.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. It's just like, tell me what my grade is, please.
Yeah, that's stressful.
Yeah. Because, yeah. I need to quit talking about school. That's all I've been doing.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Okay, you want to hear my thoughts? My crazy thoughts I wrote down this week?
Yes, please.
Okay, because I feel like they're good conversation starters.
Yes.
So the first one I wrote down, and I don't remember the context to this. It's just the first thing I have typed out on my notes for the week.
Mm-hmm.
It just says, "What is your inner dialogue like?"
Oh, my inner dialogue?
Like, do you have, I guess I was thinking through, like, for myself, I sometimes have, like, full conversations in my own head.
Yes.
But then sometimes it's, like, I don't know if I think so fast, like, I don't even let myself in my head, like, finish my thoughts. I don't know if maybe that's a form of, like, a little bit of ADHD or something, but I'll just be like, oh, like, blah, 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 and blah, blah, like, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, but I know constantly 24/7 what I was thinking, even though I didn't finish it.
Okay, that's interesting because, like, I love having these conversations with people. Like, because, like, when you think, is it, like, visual or is it, like, auditory or?
I can hear it in my head.
Okay. Because.
But I can also, like, close my eyes and I can picture, like, if you told me to close my eyes and picture an apple, yeah. I could, but it's not fully, like, super clear.
See, that's what's interesting to me because I, like, it's only an apple because I know intellectually that it's an apple. Like, right. I am not seeing anything.
That's kind of how I feel like I am. Like, from the best way I can explain it would be like if I was, like, it's all black. Anytime I'm, like, visualizing something, it's all black.
Because that's the color of my eyelids.
That's the color of my eyelids. And it is, like, I can see, like, the outline of, like, a red apple, like a very cartoon red apple with, like, a little leaf and a little green stem.
I don't think there's colors in mine.
But, like, I can see, like, the visuals of it, but it's not, like, oh, a very clear cartoon apple. Like, it's kind of blurry. Mm-hmm. It's more just, like what you said. Like, I know what an apple looks like, so I just know it in my head. Yeah. Sometimes it'll be, like, I can recount, like, memories of seeing things in real life.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Auditory stuff, I can remember exactly. Really? Like, like, a lot of times, like, if I'm studying, I'll, like, in my head, I'll read it in, like, a professor's voice or something. Like, that's how it is in my head.
That's crazy.
And, if I'll get into a phase where, like, I'm binging, like, a TV show or something, I'll start, like, thinking
like
in those
show?
voices.
That's wild. I cannot do that.
But anyway, back to the original question. Is sometimes, very often it is, like, a back and forth dialogue between, like, two of me, you know?
Yeah, same. It's like, I feel like it's like my forethought and then like whatever the back thought is. Like,
I get that, but the majority of the time, I think, you know that scene in the Lego movie where they go into his head and it's just blank?
It's empty.
It's like one
and
tumbleweed.
All he has is the double-decker couch?
Yes, that is my brain.
Really?
It's like a lot of the time it is dialogue, but the majority of the time, it's like if you knock on my skull, it's like a hollow watermelon.
Oh, no.
Like, it's just echoes.
My brain feels so full that sometimes it just hurts. Like, sometimes I can't stop the thoughts, and I can't stop. And sometimes it's like, it can be anxiety, but sometimes it's literally just like thinking about, oh, I gotta do the dishes. I gotta do this. It's just life can pile up. Like, I'm always thinking about like what's next and all the things I need to do.
Yeah.
And it feels so full that sometimes the only way I can like find relief is if I just veg out and watch TV.
Yeah.
Like, I've just got to just like.
I totally get that.
Because my brain can feel so full.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I feel like if you opened my brain, immediately would just from everything that's inside of it.
Yeah. I alternate between that and hollow watermelon.
What are you right now?
Watermelon.
In this moment, you're a watermelon.
In this, I think it's like when I'm like talking to people, it's a watermelon. If I'm like alone in my room, then it's like thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I'm like, I mean, really, I think anytime I'm with people, it's like
you just hello.
There's nothing in there.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Okay, that was one of the thoughts I had this week.
Okay, that's a good thought.
The other thought I had was, okay, just think about what you imagine for 1930.
Okay.
1920s, 1930s. Think about the culture. Think about like the cars, who owned cars, what women had to wear, what men wore. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Now think about the 80s.
Okay.
Think about how different the clothes were, how everybody had cars. Think about all of that. Now think about the fact that people born in the 1930s were only 50 years old in the 1980s.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Isn't that wrong?
Ew, I don't like that.
That's 100 years apart. That's not the same.
Oh!
They were only 50 years old.
How far is the 80s to now? Like 40 years.
40 years.
And some change. We are as far from the 80s as the 80s is from the 40s.
Yeah. No. Think about how...
Does that not make you insane?
No, it does. It truly does. Think about how different 1930 was in 1940s to the 1980s and 1990s. Imagine being a kid that grew up in the 1930s. Let's say you were born in 1928.
Yeah.
By 1938, you're 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? By 1948, you're only 20 years old. By the 80s, you're like basically... You're maybe not even a grandparent yet.
Yeah.
Like, if you are, you're a young grandparent by then.
Yeah.
Like...
And you're buying your first microwave.
You're listening to, like, music on these little devices you're carrying around.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, in the 30s, you had to be, like, probably really wealthy to be a person who owned a car. Women still wore dresses everywhere they went. Men were in the three-piece suits every day.
That's, like the biggest, like, cultural, like...
Exactly.
Shift that I can imagine.
Exactly.
That's insane.
Star Wars came out before 1980.
Oh my
1977 is when the first Star Wars movie came out. Okay?
Yeah.
Star Wars. And that's the part for me that I'm like, Star Wars at the time was so advanced in its like filming and technology and that. So imagine being somebody born in 1928 and you go and see Star Wars. Your mind is falling out of your head. And I've got to get somebody from that they're all dead probably. But I would love to have talked to somebody who experienced that.
Okay, you know what I think about? I think about this a lot. But this like hyper specific scenario, and it's only when I'm driving.
Oh.
I think about what if there was someone in my passenger seat right now, and it could be from any time period. Like it could be like from the 80s, or it could be from like the 1800s, or like 800 BC. You know what I'm talking about? Like any time period in the world. Imagine they're like in the passenger seat of my car, and I'm just trying to explain. I'm just trying to keep them from like not having a crisis.
No, for sure. No, then
as we drive down the road.
No, yes, totally. Because they're like, you can't drive. First of all, you're a woman.
Yes.
Stop driving.
And what I imagine, like, someone from, like, I don't know, like, the 1700s, and they're, like, the distance that we have, like, some, like, peasant or something, and, like, the distance that we have gone in this 5 minutes is the longest distance that I have ever traveled in my life.
Yeah,
like, more than that.
Yeah. I was thinking about that, like, just, like, it's such an odd, like, connection, but, like, when we first got Luna, one of the things they said was, like, to the first couple bit, like, keep her world small. Don't let her, like, see a bunch. And so then I was thinking about, for me personally, like, before you moved to College Station and I came to see your, like, the first time I came to see your house, that wasn't a part of my world.
Yeah.
And, like, I think about, like what you're saying, like, I can see so much of the world because of cars, planes, like, all those things. People in, like, the 1700s and even, like, early 1900s, their worlds were so small.
Yeah.
Like, the idea of just going to a different state probably was, like, for some of them was, like, crazy. Or even just, like, across Texas. Like, they probably didn't even go across Texas because it's so big.
Like, for me personally, I'm not, like, a very, like, well-traveled person or anything, but I've been halfway across the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're well-traveled for
an insane
1800s.
distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're well-traveled to be, like, 2 villages over, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, it's crazy. Well, then this whole 1930 to 1980 thing, because I was like, that's not possible that they're only 50 years old. Whatever.
Whatever, I'm fine.
I'm fine. So then I was talking to Mitchell about it, and he was saying, just think about, like, people born in, like, the 40s and 50s that got to see, like, the early 2000s when phones and, like cell phones were a thing, and, like, how crazy that was for them. And then he was saying, like, just think about, like, our lifetime and, like, from being born to now, all the technology that's advanced. And then it made us start talking about, like, Bluetooth, which I don't really remember when Bluetooth became a thing, but I do remember when we first started getting unlimited data. Do you remember that?
Not specifically.
I remember, like, having my phone.
I do remember thinking about it, but like, oh, that's not real.
No, yeah.
You know?
And I remember, and I think about this, like, our siblings will never experience getting the text, you're using all the family data. If you use any more, you're going to lose your phone. I got that text.
I did not get that.
I would get that text a lot because I would be, like, scrolling on my Instagram. I'm sending those dogs selfies on Snapchat in, like, little 6th grade. And I would get that text that would be like, you've used 90%. And then I remember when unlimited first came out, that you would get unlimited, but after you used so much, it would get slower.
Yes.
Noah and Charlie will never experience that.
That's crazy to me. You know what's also crazy
That's something one day we'll tell our kids about, and they'll be like, that's
I think
wild.
About that stuff all the time.
You didn't have unlimited data?
Yeah. I think about that stuff all the time. Like, here's what's weird to me, is that kids now, their baby pictures will be on phones. Not on, like, VHS tapes or anything like that. They'll be on phones. Yeah. And that's crazy to me.
Yeah, mine are all printed. I think mine are printed, and then about 5 or 6 is when mine are digital.
Yeah, like mine are scrapbooks and VHS tapes.
Yes, and Noah's...
And we're the last age for that.
No, yeah, we are. Noah's are all digital. He doesn't have a single baby book that he, like... My mom might have printed, like, maybe one baby book for him, but she had to choose to go and print them rather than just keep them digital.
Yeah.
Every single one of Noah's baby pictures are digital.
That is crazy.
All of mine, I think from, like, maybe, like, 4 to younger... are all in, like, I have books for my first year, second year.
Yeah, like, my mom used to be, like, really into scrapbooking, and, like, there's shelves of scrapbooks for me as a baby, and there's one scrapbook for Charlie.
Hers are all online.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I was just thinking about, like the 1980s to 1990s, I think about, like, just, like, technology boom and, like, You know, like computers were being more of a common thing to have in your house. Like, people were
like your phone has like, I don't know how much, but like a whole lot more, like orders of magnitude more like processing power than the computers that were on the first thing to the moon.
In the 1930s, to talk to somebody on the phone, you would have to pick up the phone. There would be somebody who worked at a desk and would say, you would pick up the phone and they would say, who do you want to talk to? And you would say, Sally Sue down the road. And they'd be like, okay. And they'd move wires.
They would move wires. There we go. Operator.
It's like the John Mulaney bit. Operator, ring me Neptune, blah, 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 blah. And then you would talk to that person. In the 1980s, that wasn't the case. You could call people by then.
Crazy. Oh, I saw something the other day. That was like, just like terminology that's like outdated that we still, I can't think of any examples, but it like gave me this exact same feeling. It was about hanging up the phone. Like that doesn't make sense anymore when you think about it literally, but that term exists because like the first phones were like the thing with the knob and you hold it and you would have to hang up the thing.
Well, even like phones, like home phones, early home phones.
Yeah, like that's still
hung on the wall. Like this apartment building that we live in was built like my hairdresser who has lived here for forever, she said her guess is that it was built like, she would guess like 60s, 50s, 60s, somewhere in there. Like it's really old.
Yeah.
And in my kitchen, I have like a landline on the wall that I could hang a phone up there. I told Mitchell I want to get like a fake phone to hang up there.
Oh my gosh, do it.
But yeah, like you can hang a landline in my kitchen on the wall because you can hang up the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm gonna hang up.
Yeah. Do you think
if it wasn't like, now the term would just be like, I'm gonna touch the screen.
Yeah.
In the call, I guess.
Yeah, in the call. Do you think the like the logo's not the right word, but like the icon for a phone will change? Because obviously like when you click your phone button, it looks like this. Like it looks like a telephone.
Yeah. I don't know, because I feel like I don't know, let me look at it. Yeah, it does look exactly like that. I feel like it's so iconic. Like, at least on iPhone it is. I don't know what it looks like on other phones exactly. I'm sure it looks similar.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's so iconic that, like, it would have to... I don't think it would change anytime soon. I think it would be, like, maybe in, like, 20 years if it changes.
That still feels soon.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't.
In 20 years, we'll be in our 40s.
And then, okay, like we were talking about the solar eclipse the other day. The next solar eclipse will be in our 40s.
I know. My grandpa was talking to me about the solar eclipse, and he, like, likes to go watch them and stuff. And all I could think about was, like, oh.
Ooh.
I know, not to bring it to a deep level. But there's one in, like, 2025 in Spain, and he's trying to fly to go see that one in Spain.
That's cool.
I know, wouldn't that be cool?
That's very cool.
But yeah, just like technology and the advancement of technology is crazy. And I was just thinking about, like, we're only 20. Like, I'm only 22.
Yeah.
What else is going to happen in my lifetime?
I think, yeah, that's weird. Like, sometimes I forget that I'm, like, young.
We're like,
you know what I mean? I think I feel old.
Our life is just beginning.
Yeah.
Your life really hasn't even began yet.
Yeah.
Like, you're still in school.
I popped out of the womb yesterday.
Yeah.
Like 3 hours ago.
Call me when you're 50 years old and time changed from 1930 to 1980.
Yeah.
And you're 50 years old.
That's insane to me.
And everybody has a car. When you were growing up, not only rich people had cars.
Yeah.
And cars were so different.
Yes. Like,
hey, why did they put wood on cars in the 80s?
Hey, why was... it's like the John Mulaney, like a saucy stripe of wood.
A saucy stripe of wood right down the side. Why?
I don't know. But, okay, you know what? The other day, I was talking to my friend. She got in a car wreck. But she was fine. But it was like a thing to where she was, like, at a stoplight, and there was, like, a guy that... wasn't paying attention, and he crashed into the car in front of him, crashed into the car in front of him, crashed into the car in front of him. And it was like several cars are all piled up. And her car like crumpled like a can, which is what it's supposed to do.
How fast was this guy going?
I don't know, but like, the card's just crumpled, which is what it's supposed to do,
Yeah.
so that you don't crumple
Right.
like a tin can. And that would not have happened.
With the saucy stripe of wood?
With the saucy stripe of wood.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Like, I think about, like, little pieces of, like, thin pieces of wood.
Yeah.
They splinter and shoot off. How are people in car wrecks not getting wood inside of them?
Well, they would just die. They didn't have time to get splinters. They just died instantly, I think. Have you ever listened to the stuff you should know about, there's some old cars that would just explode randomly?
No.
I can't remember any details
I
about it.
haven't
It's
been
just old
listening
cars
to
would
stuff you
sometimes
should
explode.
know.
I haven't. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I listen to like one every once in a blue moon. But
I've
it's very
gotten
rare.
really into watching podcasts, and they don't have an option to watch.
They should.
And I'm like,
They really should.
yeah,
I would watch it.
I would too. But also, next question.
Yeah.
Can you explain Bluetooth to me? How does it work?
Here's the thing: is
How
with
does it work?
my major, I should know the answer to this.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm asking you.
Waves of
Where are the waves?
in the air.
So the waves,
genuinely,
the
I really
waves
don't
in
know how
the
Bluetooth.
air are coming from my phone to that speaker,
Yes.
and they're playing music.
Yes.
So why? No.
Yes.
No, the waves are not
I really,
in the air.
really don't know how
the
Bluetooth
waves
works.
are not in the air.
How does Bluetooth work?
Exactly.
What?
Exactly.
I don't know how it works.
Like, for me, this is, like, not a good comparison, but for me, like, I can understand, like, electricity and a light bulb because there's cords.
Yeah, you can
and there's-
see where
I
it
can
is. The
see where
electricity
it's
is
going.
going. Okay.
How does the music on my phone, without being plugged into something,
Yeah.
play from a speaker? And I can
We were
leave
never
the
meant to
room.
have this much technology. As
No!
human species, we were never meant to
No!
understand Bluetooth.
No! Who understands
I am
it?
so close to just going into the woods and just
Walking
living
into
in the
the
woods. I'm so close
No.
at any given moment.
Please, if you understand Bluetooth, call in at Bluetooth 101 800 588 367 and 5.
Whose number was that?
Is that?
Oh!
800 588
882-300 Empire today.
Call that number if you have answers about how Bluetooth works.
Are people younger than us gonna know that? Are people older than us gonna know
That
that?
commercial has to still exist.
I don't think people younger. If you're younger than us, tell me if you know what we're talking about.
Who's
That's
young?
gonna be Charlie.
Oh yeah, Charlie. Tell us.
Charlie's our number one listener.
She is Charlie.
Yay! Who could we? Should we call someone who? I don't know anyone who
Who
knows
do we
about
call
Bluetooth.
that would know about Bluetooth?
Genuinely, I think I would. I don't know anyone who knows about Bluetooth. The problem is I do.
Should
but
we call somebody to try to get him to explain? I feel like I want to call Ethan and just get him to explain Bluetooth.
I'm down with that.
Is this a scenario where we should go to the tank?
I think it's time to go to the think tank.
I think so too. I think we need to go to the think tank and make a phone call.
All right, we're gonna go to the tank. We'll see you in a bit.
We'll see when we get back from the tank. Ethan Parrish, we just want to say welcome to the Think Tank on the Greater Joy podcast today. We are just so excited that you could join us.
You are live on the show.
Wow.
You are live on the show. You are our first guest for the Think Tank, and we have a very important question to ask you today.
Wait, the think tank?
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
We would like you to take your time here and do your best to explain to us how Bluetooth works.
Yeah, so Bluetooth is like a network between devices that can connect to one another in order to play like music or video through. You can also use it to play video
Okay, well,
on like TVs and stuff.
we
But
know
it's a
what
network
Bluetooth
using,
is.
like-
Hang on, we know what Bluetooth is, but we don't know how it works. Like, okay, like
How
if
does
I
my phone play the music
like if I
from
plug,
a different room to the speaker in
like
my
if
living
I
room?
plug my phone into my computer to like move pictures around, I get that because like it's going through the wire.
It's going through the cord.
It's going through the cord. But like, how does it like go through the air? You know?
Isn't it like I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but I think that's probably the point of this. I'm pretty sure it's like the same thing as like TV remotes. They use
Oh yeah, I forgot.
light that we can't see.
Oh yeah, radios exist.
Oh,
that's
was
a thing.
better answer than what we have talked about. So
I think if I can accept that radios exist, I can accept that Bluetooth exists.
I can't.
Yeah.
Radios
okay.
are the wires in the sky.
In the sky?
It's probably like a
No,
sound
but radio
frequency,
you turn your
or
knob.
a light frequency that we can't see.
So you're telling me the music travels from my phone to my speaker through a light frequency that I cannot see?
No, through radio
And
waves.
that's how TV remotes work. It's like a
It's a
it's
sensor.
like
There's
on
a
the
sensor
spectrum
on
of
my
light that you
TV.
can't see. Huh?
There's like a sensor on my TV.
Yeah, you know that little light?
Yeah.
But Bluetooth
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
do that.
there's
Bluetooth doesn't have a
right
light.
by- Huh?
Bluetooth doesn't have a light.
No, but all I'm saying is probably like a similar thing. Like it's probably like either like a light that you can't see, or it's probably like some sort of sound frequency, like a radio sound
Okay.
wave deal.
Do you think Bluetooth should exist, like morally? Because I think it shouldn't.
Do you think it's too advanced for humankind?
It should morally exist, yes.
Okay.
But
I think
the better
I think we
question
were
is,
never
like,
meant to understand it.
genetically modified humans.
Genetically.
I think make a pretty strong case for.
Okay, well, we're going to have to get you on the podcast to make a case for that one.
Okay.
Okay. You start thinking about your bullet points, and we'll have you on as our next guest, and you can talk about it.
Okay.
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 Well, thank you so much, Ethan Parrish, for joining us in today's episode with the Think Tank. We appreciate
Thank
you
you
for
for
giving
having
us
us.
your best answer. Any last words you'd like to share?
I just want to thank God and my mom for this amazing opportunity. Oh, and my wife. And my wife.
Okay, thank you so much.
Without them, I wouldn't be here.
Okay,
So,
that is just amazing. Tears are in the studio today.
yes, we
People-
shed tears in the tank.
People are crying. We thank you for your service. We'll catch you on the flippity flip.
all right.
All right.
You heard it here, folks.
Yep. I think it's safe to exit the think tank
I
now.
think we
Now that
can
we've got that settled.
Successfully leave the think tank.
All right. I'll see you back on the show.
I'll catch you back on the show. Well, I'll be darned.
Oh, where were we?
I don't know.
Life.
Life. Bluetooth.
Bluetooth history.
History.
Then now.
Hey, remember that time I didn't know what the Cold War was?
Yeah, I do. You've come so far. Have you?
Sure.
I don't think I have.
Sure.
I
Let's
barely
just
know
say
what the
I
Cold
have.
War is.
But
Do any of us?
right.
Do any of us?
Name 3 people who know what the Cold War was.
I'm out of ideas.
I would feel like your dad might know.
Shh.
Oh, sorry. I won't bring it up. I'm sorry.
The problem is I know lots of people who know what the Cold War is. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, it's okay. I guess as we wrap up, we can both share. If you want, I won't make you.
Okay.
I won't force you to.
Okay.
Our favorite Bible verses, or if you have like a life verse. I feel like a
Mm.
lot of people can tend to pick a life verse, or if you just have one that's like, hey, this is my favorite right now.
Yeah.
If you want to share it
Yeah.
and why it's your favorite, that would be.
Swag. Okay. I'll go first.
Go first, girl.
I don't really have like a life verse or anything, but when I was a kid, I always said Joshua 1:9 a lot because there was a VBS song about it and it got stuck in my head. And it says, should I sing this? I don't want to sing it. It says, "Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go."
Oh.
And then there was a dance. And that was like on my Letterman jacket in high school and stuff. Currently, this is a very basic answer, which I shouldn't be complaining about. This is a basic answer. Whatever. Lately, I love Psalm 23.
Oh.
And I used to have
We
it.
talked about that one.
Did we?
Didn't we talk about that last week?
I don't know. Well, now I want to pick something else.
No, don't.
I got a lot of favorites. It rotates. Okay. Well, maybe I have it memorized. Do I have it memorized? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Something. Hold up. Something about, you anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Yeah.
Woo!
Yay!
We did talk about that
I'm
last
90%.
week.
Yeah. Whoops. Oh well, you're gonna hear it again. Anyway, one thing that I love about that verse or that psalm is that, like, it's such a good reminder that, like, the Lord has given me everything, you know? Like, the Lord has given me salvation. He's given me life, you know what I mean? And it's just very overwhelming. It's just like the Lord has already given, like, he's already taken care of me. Like, he's already given me, like, everything, and that gives me, like, every reason to, like, to serve him and to, like, live, like, joyfully and everything. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, it's kind of, I recently heard somebody say, like, talking about, like, job changes and things like that. Somebody was just sharing, like, where you live isn't your home, and how, like, how much of our life, like, just, like, isn't ours. Like, our home is in heaven, and, like, all of that. And so it just, like, reminds me of that a little bit, in a sense of, like, God's given you everything you need in heaven, period. Like, that's all we need. He blesses us with what he gives us on earth. And so it's just, like, a sweet reminder.
Yeah.
But I like that. Mine is Ephesians 2:10.
Okay.
I would say that's kind of like my life verse, or it is my life verse. Like, it's just a verse that, I don't know if you could say, like, my poop picked it. Like, when I was 13, it was, like, a verse that, like, my parents had prayed over and just kind of spoken, like, hey, like, this is the verse we felt like sharing with you for, like, you're gonna be a teenager kind of conversation, you know?
Yeah.
You're growing up. Here's what the Lord says. And it just stuck ever since then. And, so let me read it. let me give you context here. So Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us." And some translations say you are God's masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus. And I've always, like, loved to use that verse and use the illustration of, just the illustration of, like, as somebody who likes to paint and is an artist, when you have something that you consider your masterpiece, you have a lot of value in it. And you have a lot of pride in it. And, like, you put a lot of time into it, and you sit there and you, like, for me, like, some of it before I start painting something, I really think about what I want to paint. I put a lot of thought into it before I even create it. I put hours into it creating it, sometimes multiple days into it creating it, like, just depending. And then, like, I find, like, a really special person to give it to, or I find, like, a really pretty place to hang it up. Like, I have a lot of pride in the paintings and the things I create. And I just think, like, if God says, like, we are his masterpiece, like, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, like, just, like, the picture of that, of, like, God thought about us before we were created. He, like, I love the quote, like, God saw the whole world and decided it needed one of you. Like, he thought about us before we were created. He took a lot of time to create us and knit us together. And then after that, he cares about, like, where we are, what we're surrounded by, what we get to be a part of, like, what kind of frame we get to go, you know, like, I like to, like, relate it to all of that, and, like, just the good works that he has for us to do. And, like, I don't know, I just really like that piece. And then just the end feels like a sweet little bow, like, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Like, he's prepared from the beginning of Adam and Eve for us this moment right now. Like, he's prepared for all of that for us.
Yeah.
And so it just is like a verse that just kind of makes me feel really seen by the Lord.
Yeah.
Like, just how purposeful he is and intentional he is.
It's, like, so, like, deeply comforting.
Yeah.
And, like, humbling, you know? like, I've never thought about it, like, that way specifically. Like, I've thought about it in, like, like, God has spent a lot of time, like, purposefully and carefully, like, crafting you. But I've never thought about, like, what you said, like, oh, he has, you know, like, you have plans for, like, your artwork that you make to give it to this person or to put it in this frame. Like, something about that specifically is, like, blowing my mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I just, like, love to, like, I've spoken about this verse, like, at Elevator, at different event, like, church things, and I just always love to share that, and, like, love to share, like, that, just the identity piece of it, and, like, even just, like, I just have so many examples of how to relate it to, like, painting, like, even on a simple basis of, like, when I'm painting something, most of the time I'm painting something for somebody intentionally. Like, usually I'm not just, sometimes I'm painting just for fun, but if it's something I'm really putting a lot of effort in, it's like, okay, I'm going to give this to this person specifically. Like, I want them to have it, or I'm going to put it in this spot.
Yeah.
And, like, every stroke is intentional.
Yeah.
Or it's supposed to be, for me at least. Sometimes there's accidents.
I don't know about you.
As a human painter. But,
Yeah.
like, God, every stroke is intentional, and so it just like, makes me just feel so, like, so comforted by the Lord that every part of you is intentional and purposeful, and he sees every part of you and knows, like, the painter knows so much more about the painting than the people looking at it.
So overwhelming. Yeah, I don't have words for it. It's just so overwhelming.
Yeah, it's good. Sometimes when I'm, like, feeling really anxious or just feel like life is, like, feeling out of control, like, it's just nice to just sit and remind myself, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just sometimes, like, that verse can just feel like a hug from Jesus
Just
to me.
The notion that, like, you were created on purpose is just, like, crazy. You know?
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
On that note,
That's all I got.
we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye!